here for the pledge.
Oh, good. Good idea. Good. Okay, everybody ready? Let's do it. City Clerk?
Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Underwood Jacobs.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The prayer this evening will be with Chaplain Jason Knudsen from the U.S. Air Force.
To the one who governs the affairs of all, we pause for a moment as we come to you in prayer. Today, this council will recognize the costly service of some of our greatest heroes and the exceptional skill of some of our recent young champions. They will also seek to increase our awareness so that the occurrence of sexual assault and child abuse will be reduced. Help us, Guardian of the Weak. Please bless the business that will be conducted dealing with proposed annexation and foreclosure, the decisions that the council will make to care for neighbors through the winter shelter program, through housing and neighborhood revitalization, and through combined redevelopment projects. Faithful One, guide us as status reports are given and a nomination and appointment will be considered. This council will also deal with other legal issues, and for all this, Ancient of Days, we pray that you would grant wisdom. Help Raj, Ken, Rex, Angela, Marvin, and all those who lead and those that support them to do so in such a way as to honor you and to those who have entrusted this great power to them. Finally, Good Shepherd, gently lead us all to realize that if we would but follow you, we would find our cups overflowing, your goodness and mercy, and a home to dwell in for all eternity. Amen.
Tylen and Morgan, are you here? You're the captains of the team, right?
Yes.
Why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Good. And then after that, you got to give your speech. No, you don't have to do it.
Go ahead and say it in the mic.
Go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So are you ready for the speech? Our worst nightmare, right? Okay, Ken, you're going to do
Yeah, if I could.
if you would.
All right.
Okay.
So, Mayor, I appreciate letting me do this. So, tonight, I would like to begin to thank all the brave Americans who served our nation in the Vietnam War. Pretty dear to my heart. I was sharing earlier, I had a brother that did 3 tours of duty. He entered into the Marine Corps in 1967, stationed in Da Nang. Came home just the first of the year of 1970, right after I graduated, and so proud of what he was able to do, as well as the rest of the Vietnam vets. And I think it's a group that I think we maybe have not treated them as well as we should have, and this gives us an opportunity to do that. So speaking from the heart. So on behalf of the Antelope Valley community, I thank you for your service. I would like to ask everybody that's a Vietnam vet, please stand now because we'd like to acknowledge your contribution to the United States and to specifically to the city of Lancaster. So this is very special. We've got the memorial out in the hallway out to the right. So hopefully, if you hadn't had a chance to stop in and take a look at it. If not, tomorrow we are going to do a USA-Vietnam War commemoration. The event will start at 10 o'clock. All Vietnam vets in attendance will be recognized with Vietnam lapel pins. In addition to those who lost their lives in Vietnam, the AV-76 panel will be on display throughout the ceremony. And I do want to tell you, there is 2 gentlemen that I went to high school with, and their names are on that wall. So, thank you again for what you do. So, this is being presented. Do we have a representative from Point Man here? Mike? On behalf of the City of Lancaster and the people of the United States, thank you so much for your contribution. Okay? Perfect.
And Dennis Anderson will be the MC.
Okay. Dennis, thanks for doing this too.
You want Angela to help you hand them out?
You go. Yeah, go, Angela.
It was strange sitting up there watching that presentation and looking at you and realizing that they were your age when they went to that war. They look just like you do, children. Thank you again. I know you're not children, but to us you are. Tonight I would like to recognize the Antelope Valley High School girls basketball team, Lady Antelopes, for winning the 2016 CIF Southern Section title.
That's an old timer.
I don't think the Falcons ever did that, did they, Marvin? The Lady Antelopes defeated La Cañada earlier this month, March 4th, 2016, to take home the title. This is a milestone for both the Antelope Valley and AV High School. The first CIF title win for a girls basketball team in the entire Antelope Valley. It is also the first girls CIF title win in Antelope Valley's high school's history. You're famous. This is an achievement of which our entire community can be proud of. The team's hard work, perseverance, and dedication this season reflects the potential possessed by our community's youth. Developing potential enables our young people to achieve their goals. Our community, whether friends, family, coaches, or teachers, lends a helping hand in influencing our local youth's development. On behalf of the entire Lancaster City Council, I would like to congratulate the Lady Antelopes Lady Antelopes of Antelope Valley High. Do they call them the gentleman antelopes of? On their incredible achievement and wish them luck this Saturday in the state championship game. So normally I get one person up here and I'm able to give them a scholarship, but well, maybe I am, but that's a lot of money if I were to do it for all of you. So this is what I'll do. I want you to pick, and I want your coaches to help, the athlete amongst you that has done the best academically. That way I get them both, right? And if there are two of you that are close, I'll do two of them. But it'll be $1,000 for the scholarship of whoever that person is. Okay? Does that work?
Wow.
Good. I want you to hand them to me as we do it. We've got the youth mayor, you got me, and you got Angela. And we're going to call your names and come on up, and we'll get pictures and hand you your certificates, okay? Does that work for you? Good. Yeah, the family can come down and take pictures as we do it. And then afterwards, we'll get a group shot with the family and the girls. Okay? Good. So let's do it. Titania Lyles. And you're the smart one too, right?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Let's do
Thank you.
this over here. Do this over here. Kyler Jackson. Hi, Kyler. Morgan Bizel. Hey, Morgan.
Thank you. Congratulations, Morgan. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina Moody. Thank you. Renaya Blackwell. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Tyler Smith. Savannah Sullivan. That was a hard decision, wasn't it?
Congratulations.
Tylen Price. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Janice Sales. Congratulations. Naya Page. Get this best one. Do we have two Tyler Jacksons? Oh, I got it, okay. Congratulations. Brianna Brown. Okay, so how tall are you?
6'10". Thank you.
That's the team, yeah. Zanaya Smith. Because, I see, okay. And Brian Stapleton? Not here? Okay. Well, we're just not going to give it to him then. Ebony Barnes? You guys do a lot of work. Is the principal here? Okay. We're going to save you for last. But we would like the coaches to come up. Brett Bape and Dion Clare. Imagine what it takes to take high school kids this age and turn them into champions. That is truly remarkable. We're very proud. We're really proud of you. Thank you. And let's bring the principal up, Dr. Jody Radford. Hey, our principals are PhDs now. We're going up in the world. And look what we have to show for it.
Absolutely.
And on behalf of the City of Lancaster, let's get everybody up here. We have a plaque for you.
The tall in back, we can bring the tall toward the back, tall in back.
I'm rarely the short one up front, but in this case, I think I might be.
Okay, so who's going to hold the key? Well, yeah, let's have all the Antelope Valley High School graduates and staff come on up.
Hold they say keep your places. They got to be in front, they're real small. Hey, we have Mr. Fuller out there. We tilt this way, and you guys come forward. Is that working?
Come on,
Where would you like?
Tim.
Is he embarrassed? Palmdale High rules.
Thank you.
Lisa Rodriguez. No, you're giving those to Lisa Rodriguez. It's just an awareness month. It's child sexual assault awareness month and child abuse awareness month.
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes, okay? Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go. We're back on. Tonight, I don't think we're celebrating it, but we're recognizing Child Abuse Awareness Month and Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And the person that does the most, I used to have 4 of them that did that. The person that does the most to deal with these problems in a humane, caring way, and at the same time try to eliminate it from our community, is Lisa Rodriguez. She's on our Criminal Justice Commission, and on behalf of the City of Lancaster, we want to present you with 2 certificates
Thank you.
recognizing our recognition of both of these months. Probably let's do it in different months. Let's get a picture. So, Sandy, you want to do this early, or you want to wait till you call you? Okay, we're going to move council agenda item
CA1.
CA1 to the head of the agenda, and I'm appointing or nominating for appointment Sandy Smith to the Planning Commission. City Clerk, do we have any communications?
No communications.
Do we have any speaker cards?
None on CA1. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Why do you want to do this again?
You have to announce the vote.
Oh, it's unanimous. So did you keep all your hardware from last time? Absolutely. All right, good.
Did you have to get sworn in again?
Huh?
Did you have to get sworn in again?
Oh, yeah, we got to swear you in. That's right. You want to swear her in? Yeah. I'm going to have Angela swear you in. Okay? She's running for election. And it really makes Michael Reeves mad when I do that.
Sandy, congratulations. Okay, please repeat after me. I,
I,
your name,
Sandy Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear the true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties of which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a great girl. Happy Women's Day.
Ask her candy for everyone.
Oh, you're left-handed, huh?
Did you bring us any candy?
I told I was not allowed to bring you candy.
Yeah, there is that.
No, you're good.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Here we go.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on to the agenda. City manager, anything to be removed? Well, as soon as the city manager gets back to the, do we have an assistant city manager here today?
It's going to. I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Anything to be removed?
No, sir. I was multitasking. That was a bad idea.
I noticed that. There's no, never mind, I'll tell you later. Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Consent calendar, anything to be removed?
We need to remove 4, 8, 9, and that's all.
Must be an election. Okay. All right, is there a motion on the items CC 1, 2, 3, 5, 6,
So moved.
and 7?
Second that?
All in favor? Well, let's vote. Where's the... Are you getting even? It's unanimous. Okay. Let's go on to CC4. Mr. Zink.
City Council, I ask that you put off voting on this CC4, the adoption of annexing this property into the sanitation district. The property in question is the DMV that they're being built in Antelope Valley. That way we will have more public input and be able to find out more details about the project. I was at the Senior Citizen Center today listening to Mr. Mann and Mrs. Jacobs about how much they care about this community and, Antelope Valley in general too. And that if you had any concerns, you could always bring them to the City Council and we would discuss them and find out more information. Well, I'm here today doing what you said. We need to find out more information on this. This should not be rammed down our throats. this DMV and the location that was picked. We need to care about those businesses that surround the DMVs and let them know about it. They don't even know about it. If we really care, if you guys really care like you said you did at the senior center, and this mayor and the other 2 council members, then you will not adopt this, so stop the project, and you will ask Runner and Lackey and a judge to put an injunction against this project until we have full disclosure of who the owners are, what the project is about, and why that location was picked, and why we weren't informed about it in the first place. Palmdale owns 100 acres on the corner of M and 10th Street West. We could have put it right there. You have 20 acres on this side of the courthouse and 5 acres on this side of the courthouse, a willing seller that would sell to you. So the thing is, why is there so much secrecy in a community that should be so proud of being open? This is what the questions are regarding the citizens in Palmdale and Lancaster, that there's too much secrecy going on between the city and the citizens. So I ask that you postpone the vote on this measure if you care.
Thank you. Michael Reeves.
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I have some comments about CC4. What I'd like to know, who are the owners of the property? I looked in the book that the city clerk has, and it does not tell me who the owners are. According to what's reported in the AV Press, the DMV is going to lease the property or lease the building. So I would like to know who owns the property before we vote on it. Yeah, you know, is it someone, a real estate firm? Is it an investment from down below, or what? The second thing is CC8. We have $280,443,000 that's going to be allocated for the 2 homeless shelters. You know, that's I know how government works. You want to use up all the budget before you can get the same amount next year, but I think that's kind of excessive, in that the people at the shelter on 60th Street West are sleeping on cots, and you're bathing and cleaning them up at Yucca and moving them out there on a school bus to the 60th Street shelter. You know, I don't have any objections if you take care of them until the end of the month, but this, again, for the last 6 years, I've said City Council should partner with a mission down below. LA Mission, Fred Jordan and someone, let them handle it. Do you really want a homeless settlement on the edge of the city? Did we move up here to have Los Angeles brought up here? We can take care of our people at the shelter and Grace Resources. We don't need to invite other people to come up here and live in our city and become a haven for homeless people on the edge of town. Thank you.
Fran, come up and tell me something good, would you?
Yeah, I'm talking about the homeless situation. 280,000 plus for how many beds is that going to cover? Last time when you had something for the shelter on 60th and I, was only like 40 or 60 beds, and that seems like an excessive amount of money for 60 beds. And I know you transfer the excuse me, you transport them from Yucca all the way up to 60. And for how long of a period? Is this only for a few months? Just for a few months?
This is our winter.
Yeah, it's a valid question. Why is it so much?
I'm sorry. What's that? Oh, the amount?
Yeah.
For 60 beds.
I don't know why it's so high. It's applied for, it's made up of the cost of staffing, if there's transportation, food, et cetera. It's made up on a budget. We have to submit on behalf of Grace Resources the budget. LASA reviews it and then approves it. The reason that it's extended to March 31st is that they got additional funds to extend it because of the predicted El Nino storms.
So it averages out to about 4,000 plus per bed for how many months?
It's probably through December through then, through March 31st. It's about December through then. Remember, it's not just the beds. I mean, there are more people that go there.
I get it.
Yeah.
So
But, friend,
we're talking about 1,000 a month per person,
Per person?
which, doesn't seem inordinate.
No, that's good. I mean, that's even less than what they pay down in L.A. for their homeless, where they get
Yeah.
over $4,000 per
Correct.
their homeless. So, okay.
Okay?
Friend, this is a good thing. This is the result of us fighting for more money from LASA to go to our agencies to use this. So this is a good thing that we're doing this. This is the money that would stay down in Los Angeles if we hadn't fought for it. So before we were getting about $279 a person for it, and now they've raised that level. So we're getting more money for Grace Resources to do their event. If they don't use all this money, they're going to apply it for the rest of the year. But we've allocated that much money for the winter process.
So that means more, more people, more homeless will be able to sleep in the winter months, hopefully for El Nino. Okay, I won't speak on the other.
Keep in mind that there's actually, they have fire watches out there, they have people to feed them out there, they have all different types of resources that they have moved out there. So it's just not a bed and a cot like some people would have you believe. It's, they've moved resources out there, they're helping them, and then plus we have some of our resources out there that actually helps during the fire watch, because the buildings that they're in are not sprinklered. So the fire department is requiring us to have a fire watch. So we have to have a 24-hour fire watch out there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can I address the other two things on?
If not, I want to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I appreciate Jason's compassion about the sanitation district annexing the property, but you do realize that this is a state-driven, we're only a city council. I can understand the frustration sometimes how we learn either through newspaper or employees. But I think that your request should be addressed to the agency that was responsible for that transfer. And then at the end of the day, both those DMVs are sitting on property that are currently leased. And I suspect, not speaking for the state, I suspect that they made a budget decision, felt that a more central location, maybe not straight up on Avenue M, and I'm not defending them, I'm just telling you how I see things, that they came to conclusion that the community would be better served. Sometimes change is tough. But I have a sneaky suspicion that I'm sure some of those factors played into that. But I don't think we're the body to be making decisions for the state. I'd like to, but I'm not elected state official. So I suspect from what I read in your conveyance at the Palmdale City Council meeting, it was, as Mayor Ledford said, frustrating to find out this way. So just wanted to share that. And I have every intention of voting into the annexation, so.
I'm good. I just wanted to explain, Jason, that it's a state agency. We don't have any options. We're just making sure that they have water and sewer there. I don't really care who owns the property. I do like it. It's going to be handled in the city of Lancaster. I think that the size of the DMV has doubled. It has needed to be doubled. So the size of this DMV will actually become 4 times this size, and it'll be located in the city of Lancaster. I understand Palmdale's concern.
I thought Marvin owned it. I'm sorry. What do I know?
Butters, Representative, talk about it?
Okay, is that all the speaker cards?
Yes.
Is there-
I'll move that we accept the consent calendar for CC4, CC8, CC9.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Were we joint new business now? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. New business item 1.
GNB1.
We have one speaker card, of course. Okay. Barbara Boswell, you're on.
I never usually have to lift it. Usually I have to bring it down. Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, members of the City Council and Commissioners. The item before you at this time is to approve documents related to a refunding of bonds that the council as, successor agency as well as the oversight board have both approved. There's a lot of words there, but the bottom line is the approval of the documents will allow us to issue new bonds at a lower rate and save the taxpayers money and save the successor agency money. So there are two actions. One is on the successor agency side. It's adoption of resolution number SA06-16, and another resolution on the financing authority side, which is resolution number FA01-16. I would like to recognize we have Marshall Lynn from Urban Futures, our financial advisors. He's been the city's financial advisor for longer than I've been alive almost, and has done a lot of really terrific projects for the city, and a lot of the projects he's been involved with have really made a difference in the city, and he's here to answer any questions, and just wanted to take a minute to recognize him.
Any questions? Thank you. Marshall, you came all the way up here for nothing. You guys fly up today?
I drove up.
You flew up. Oh, okay. All right, Michael Reeves.
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is one time where I'd like to see a extended PowerPoint presentation. I go to a lot of meetings, the AV hospital meetings, the AVGA, and, I see all the PowerPoint, but I think we ought to have a PowerPoint presentation and go in detail to what you're doing. The packet that's in the city clerk's office is rather thick. And, for us to have a 3-minute presentation is not acceptable. We need to have a more detailed presentation before you vote on this. Thank you.
Marshall, did you bring your PowerPoint? You're remiss once again. Any questions?
So I can't figure out why we wouldn't want to save taxpayers' money. Go figure.
Well, nobody's objecting to saving the taxpayers' money. They just want to do it with a PowerPoint.
Oh.
Is there a motion?
Can we do both of these at the same time?
Yes, same topic. You may do a single motion for resolutions SA 06-16 and FA 01-16.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution SA 06-16 and resolution FA 01-16.
I will second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, moving on to new business. Item 1, Measure R interchange.
Marissa Diaz is going to give the presentation on this one.
Good. Is it going to be spellbinding?
I'm sorry?
Is it going to be spellbinding?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a PowerPoint, yeah.
The moment the PowerPoint works, it will be.
Okay. Mayor and council, good evening.
Good evening.
Back in 2012, the California Transportation Commission adopted STIP funds for the State Route 138 widening. It went from Pear Blossom Avenue to State Route 18. This freed up millions of dollars in Measure R funds that could be used elsewhere on State Route 138. As members of the North County Transportation Coalition, Vice Mayor Christ and Councilman Mann were instrumental in securing our city's fair share. 5 of the 11 projects identified for State Route 138 Measure R highway capacity funding are in the city of Lancaster and total $65 million. Funding covers 100% of all phases of the project, from planning to environmental and design through construction. The project limits include the interchanges themselves, as well as a generous portion of local street improvements adjacent to the interchanges. In accordance with the Council's intent to spread around and stretch every dollar as far as it can go, we have taken a programmatic corridor approach to the interchange improvements.
If you ever drive along State Route 14138 through the Antelope Valley, whether it's your route to family fun, to work, or just to get around the AV, we have some good news for you. The City of Lancaster has secured more than $65 million from LA Metro to improve and enhance the Avenue M, L, K, J, and G interchanges. Since this Measure R funding is enough to improve 5 of our 7 interchanges, we have been provided a unique opportunity to redesign each one according to a unified theme that will give visitors, commuters, and residents a sense of arrival when they drive through Lancaster. Over the next few years, these interchanges will be getting some major upgrades to make your driving experience as pleasant and convenient as ever. These new and improved interchanges will increase capacity, increase safety, and include beautification and landscaping improvements. They will also create jobs for our local workers and will result in a number of other economic benefits for our community. This 6-mile stretch along State Route 14138 is a vital corridor for the City of Lancaster, as tens of thousands of visitors pass through every year. It might be to attend games at Lancaster National Soccer Center or Big 8 Softball Complex. Maybe it's part of their commute to work at the Lancaster Business Park or Fox Field Industrial Corridor. Wherever they may be going, this corridor is important to them, and that's why it's important to us, that it be upgraded with state-of-the-art accessibility. Learn more about State Route 14138 Interchange Project and the city's various road improvement efforts at sr138lancaster.com.
Last Tuesday, we held an open house CEQA scoping meeting for all 5 interchanges at the Lancaster National Soccer Center. The projects at Avenue K, Avenue M, and Avenue G have completed the planning phase and we're currently in the environmental phase. The Avenue J project is scheduled to complete the planning phase and start the environmental phase in May of this year. The funding agreement for the Avenue L project was executed by Metro last week, so we'll be starting the planning phase before the end of this fiscal year. Construction is scheduled to start in 2018, and we'll have all 5 projects completed by 2020. This concludes our update, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Mr. Wazikin, what happened to the Avenue D project?
Well, before I get to that, I must say that what wasn't said is when we originally went into the meeting, the Vice Mayor and Ken, they were going to allocate us $15 million, and they quickly got that up to 65. And the question, thank you for that, We don't talk enough about, there was also an additional $25 million that you helped us get to do all the environmental and planning work on Avenue D. It's a 36-mile stretch between the Gorman area and the 14 freeway. That's what makes the high desert corridor actually work. It's a bypass. They've done several outreach efforts. They will be releasing the draft EIR for public comment this April. And that project, once it's done and the environmental and planning's done, it will be shovel ready for the next round of funding. So that 25 is going to leverage hopefully into hundreds of millions of dollars. But yeah, April, you'll start seeing it work.
Nice presentation.
Yes. So, Mayor Paris, I want to make sure that the audience is aware that had we left it to its own devise, the city manager was correct. We would have come out with $15 million. And that is taxpayers' dollars that were collected here that would have went somewhere else. And after doing some very strenuous...
They didn't need the money.
No, they didn't. We needed the money.
Well, we wanted the money.
Yeah. But I want to make sure that often at times, behind the scenes, the multiple of meetings that we attend, that people need to understand that we made sure that those dollars that were collected, because those are sales tax dollars that were collected, and as they continue to be collected too, I just want to make sure that people understand. So this bucket of money is dollars that have already been collected sitting in the bank. So I look forward to the vice mayor, and if it's Angela's turn, to be very diligent to make sure that we get our next pot of money in our fair share of taxes.
Thank you. You know, you really are unheralded in that regard. Since Marvin has been vice mayor, we've far surpassed the $100 million mark of money that he's brought into the city that we wouldn't have had he not been mayor. That's a lot of money. You know, pretty soon it starts adding up, but well over $100 million. It is, you know, I can't say enough about it, and nobody knows about it, and that's a shame. But you are a true champion of this city, and more importantly, you're effective. You effectively execute. And you make me look really good. Thanks.
So I am just telling you, I appreciate Marvin so much, and I appreciate the team. So I just think we need to say more of what we're doing out there, and we might be able to call you the $100 million man now.
Well, we're past that, but we're fighting for...
And you got Marissa to do a PowerPoint.
There you go. Is that okay, Michael?
All right. NB2. Oh, we got to receive, file, and serve, right?
Point of order, Mayor.
Why don't you just be quiet, would you, Jason? Just be quiet. If the card's not here, I'm not calling on you. This is not your playground. Now, Deputy, would you enforce that for me, please? Thank you. NB2, City Partners Program.
PowerPoints abound. I have another one. If we can get it to come up. I didn't hit a button. I promise. Okay. Good evening, Mayor Paris, City Council, and Commissioners. Today I'd like to talk to you about a lesser-known function of the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Department, our partnership program. When you think about Parks, Recreation, and Arts, I'm sure it conjures images of this nature: basketball games, playgrounds, trails, recreation, but we are so much more here at the City of Lancaster. We manage 15 after-school programs and care for 1,000 children each day after school. We manage the City of Lancaster's Big 8 softball complex, as well as the City of Lancaster's James C. Gilley Lancaster National Soccer Center, which combined see 350,000 visitors each year. And those visitors don't just frequent our parks, they frequent our restaurants, they stay in our hotels, and they buy from our local businesses. We work hard here in the City of Lancaster so that council and the community see us as central to the quality of life for our residents and not a drain on the general fund, as many other cities that have cut their parks and event offerings tend to view PRA. Under this council's direction and leadership, we are challenging what it means to be a parks department here in the city of Lancaster. Like many departments in the city, we possess an entrepreneurial mindset. Just 3 short years ago, we conceived of a new event, the Field of Drafts. I'm happy to report after 3 years that this event has turned a profit, as well as provides an additional recreation opportunity for 5,000 residents and visitors each year. The Lancaster Performing Arts Center. The Lancaster Performing Arts Center is celebrating its 25th year this year, and we wanted to create more of an experience there. Don't come 5 minutes before a show and leave 2 minutes after a show. Come and spend your entire evening at the Performing Arts Center. There's a new spot in town, and it's Zelda 750 West. As you all know, PRA, Spearheads, and all of the other departments here at the city support 22 additional events a year. You know these events, you're familiar with these events, you attend these events, and we appreciate your support so much. But with the economic downturn that we experienced a few years ago, these events were at risk. So we put our heads together to figure out how to continue to offer these programs to the community, and thus the partnership program was born. The first year, we were really excited, $40,000. We made enough money to support Celebrate America, or a single magical Christmas event, or Boulevard. In 5 short years, I am very pleased and very proud with the help of Phyllis, our contracts coordinator, Phyllis Fregoso, to report this year we'll receive $1 million in partnerships and sponsorships.
Phyllis, way to go.
Hiding. She's hiding right back there. So what makes this program successful? It boasts a 98% retention rate. That means a lot to us. We must be doing something right here at the city. It provides all of these opportunities for our local businesses. It provides credibility simply by being associated with the city of Lancaster for small businesses. We provide the opportunity to blast e-news releases about these local businesses to 20,000 individuals each week. We offer them on-site festival activation where they can speak up to 40,000 people in a single weekend at the Poppy Festival or the Air Show or events like that. And we also offer customized benefit packages that can be specified to each partner. One unintended benefit that we didn't realize about this program until very recently is that it's putting local businesses together. And what do I mean by that? You may recall that you saw a video here a couple council meetings ago about Sierra Toyota and Prince for Life, who met at a partnership meet and greet luncheon. They neither knew about each other until we had this luncheon, and they've been working together ever since. And this is just one example of businesses working together like that. I can tell you more. Edwards Federal Credit Union is now underwriting loans for a local car dealership they met through the partnership program. High Desert Medical Group is working with Bex to feed 5,000 seniors each year at their Senior Expo. And just this weekend at the Air Show, we heard Petrolog and Harley-Davidson starting to form a relationship surrounding Thunder. So this program has extra benefits that we couldn't even imagine when we started it just a few years ago. So who are our current community partners? There's 21. These are partners. In addition to this, we also have sponsors. We have a handful more that are interested in joining the program, and we will flush them out here in the next year or so. We're really excited to feature all of these sponsors and partners in our program this year. So where do we go from here? The sky is the limit, and I will be back when we hit 2 million.
No, come back. You got me interested now. So is the million earmarked for anything, or does it go into the general fund?
It goes into the general fund, and we also, it supports all of the programs, especially the events that we do.
So why are we putting it in the general fund and not putting it into the events themselves?
Well, the general fund pays for the events.
It does.
Yeah, the cost of the events is covered substantially by that $1 million in trade and cash.
Are we at a deficit or a plus?
at a deficit still at this time. There are 22 events that we
You have to
put on each
explain,
year.
I'm just asking.
And, but they do significantly offset that and also allow us to do additional things in the city when they pop up and be a partner ourselves with the local businesses.
It's a very good question because the public may not understand. The general fund, there's no other fund sources to put on recreation and parks programs or law enforcement. So every dollar that we do here with partnerships benefits both law enforcement and events and quality of life.
Phyllis, you created this program. I remember when you started it, I thought, right. It was remarkable. Is our email list only 20,000 people?
It's about 17,000. We did recently cull it for duplications and such.
So why aren't we buying more lists?
That's a question. That's a good question. We can look into that. I can work with Joe and see what the opportunity is there.
We're not subject to any spam laws, are we?
No, our list is very Antelope Valley focused in terms of residents.
I know, but
businesses.
there's 146,000 people in this city. And
No,
we
I'm
only
just
got
saying we
20,000
can buy the
email
list,
addresses.
but we can certainly look into that.
Come on up.
Our partnership program, we can share lists. Example, University of Antelope Valley has offered to share their list with our list. We just haven't implemented that, but that is on our radar to do, to increase our emails, weekly email.
So when can you quadruple it?
Quadruple what, the email list or the money? The email list, give me
Both.
3 months.
I think you might find the two have
Absolutely.
a certain, they track each other.
Absolutely.
Part of the benefit, as I understand it, with our email system is it is a double opt-in system, so it's significantly less likely to go to a spam folder, and that's what's valuable to our partners. It has a high click-through rate and also isn't rejected very frequently, so that provides value to them as well. They know that they're reaching the customer.
And anybody with Gmail accounts, it automatically goes into a spam file, so we have some glitches we have to work out on reporting on that.
All right, get back to me.
Thank you.
Would you?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to thank the council for the opportunity and the belief in the program, Rex. Thank you.
Thanks. Good job. All right. Is there motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Second? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Going on to NB2. Did you do them all at the same time, Rhonda? Oh, no, that was NB2. Okay, good. We already did 3. Council reports. Reported.
You want to go first?
Sure. There's not much happening at AVTA. We're still being hailed as the best in the world, the best in California, and the best in the county. So a lot of people are coming towards AVTA to look and see what we're doing and how we're doing it. We're changing it, and we have over a 300,000 surplus this year. So I thought it was a very good meeting today. Angela?
The only thing I would add is that the Associated Press reached out to Lynn Engel yesterday to do an interview as well from China. So it's global.
Wow, that's cool. That's great. Okay.
Mayor, I have a report for the sanitation district. We went through the rudimentary procedures of the next year's taxes for the sanitation district, and proud to say there will be no rate increase. Looks like on the forecast, we're probably good for at least 3 years. So that's a positive, as opposed to everybody to the south, where they're raising it year over year. We had a decrease in staff. We had savings over on the chemical side. We built reserves again this year by $2 million. And then I'm proud to say, those guys are going to do an RFP for solar.
That's good.
So we're making some progress.
That's right. Good. Thank you. Sheldon, criminal justice?
Thank you, sir. The Criminal Justice Commission met last month, the second Wednesday of last month, and I'm sorry, this month. And the two subcommittees that I spoke about last week, last meeting, have been formed. One is to look into the marijuana laws. We're going to discuss the pros and cons and then make recommendation to council. And the second was to explore the Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act that is out for signature from the state legislature.
Thank you.
Oh, and importantly, as a reminder, next month's meeting is canceled due to election activities. So the next meeting will be in May.
Thank you. Mr. Woods?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Our meeting last night, we considered 5 tentative track map extensions. We also approved a conditional use permit for the relocation of Gino's Italian Restaurant. We took up issues on and discussed the removal of minimal parking requirements for commercial projects in the city, which was a rather far-reaching discussion. We certainly didn't make any decisions, but we will be studying that over the next few months and
Explain
may
that to
make a
me.
recommendation.
Explain that to me.
Well, currently, the way the regulations are written in the codes here, there are certain parking standards for certain uses, certain developments. No matter what the land use is, there's a standard. For instance, in a normal retail shopping center, that would be one parking space per 200 square foot of retail development, or 5 per 1,000, if you would. And part of the discussion was that most tenants, most operators, and most developers really understand their business better than we might. So we're going through a process to evaluate that. For instance, if you're operating a retail business or an office business or a medical complex or whatever it might be, some of us believe, and certainly our city staff and planning staff believes, that the operator has a better understanding of what his or her needs might be. And particularly your large commercial developers certainly do. So, parking lots are expensive to maintain when they're not used for parking. So those are interesting impacts that we'll be studying.
So what happens if they change the use? Like if you're, leasing for a restaurant one day and a retail store
the next,
yeah.
and a conversion to a medical center the next.
Yeah. What do you do in the? I mean, I'm assuming you do the one parking per 200 feet, just as an average across the board, right?
Yes, that's the way it's currently done in most of our shopping centers. But what we found, and I'll repeat something that we relayed to the planning commissioners last night, in many cases our parking requirements are somewhat irrelevant because they aren't the ones that are really used by commercial developers or tenants. They have their own requirements, and those are the ones that are actually met. At worst, our requirements at times may knock a particular site out of consideration for a tenant or a developer, even though they may be quite satisfied with it. So what we're trying to see is whether or not the imposition of those requirements, the sort of one-size-fits-all approach, may actually be harming us in some cases rather than helping us. So that's the real gist of the discussion that we're having. And I will tell you, it's been driven somewhat by the fact that we're beginning to get inquiries, particularly from owners of large chunks in shopping centers. In many cases, major tenants own their own property there, and they're actually doing a very thorough economic dollars and cents analysis of, is that area that's underutilized as parking maybe better to lease to a use? And of course, from the city standpoint, if it works for them, that's more jobs, that's more revenue, that's more the types of things that we're looking at. So that's a lot of the analysis we're going through.
If we were to assume in 10 years, half the cars were robotic, is that assumption?
Yes, and some of the research that we've been doing indicates that shopping center owners are already looking to the day when they may be able to get rid of a lot of their parking spaces simply because they won't need them to store vehicles. And they can put that land to more productive use.
Well, they still have to store the vehicle, they just don't have to store it on site.
Correct.
Which leads me to my next thought. City parking facilities, off-site, start to make a lot of sense. I'd like you to look into who's doing the research on that, who's got, plans for that, and should we be jumping on sooner rather than later? Does that make sense, Jim?
Actually, it does, and I think we touched on that last night.
Okay, good. But it seems pretty clear in 10 years that half the cars will be robotic, and then it'll get more and more and more as the others go off the road. We're planning to be out of business in 10 years as a personal injury firm. It just is the way it is.
Just in time for retirement.
Well, I don't know that I'm ever going to do that. We just got to move into other markets.
We took up other issues last night as well, and one of them were consideration of standalone energy storage facilities, which we discussed at some length and
What's
asked
that?
for further reports back.
What is that?
Standalone energy storage facilities for
Yeah.
batteries.
You mean like BYD's facility?
Green energy producers.
Yes, as renewables become a higher percentage of the energy mix, utilities, operators of the grid are starting to look at ways to store energy that's excess at some particular time so it can be released later.
I take it we don't have zoning for that?
We don't have a specific requirement in place for that right now.
Does that mean they could do it without any interference? Because that's where I want us to be.
They can do it on site right now. In fact, some of the existing solar developments are doing that on a small scale, but we're really looking at what's the appropriateness of a standalone type facility, which we think may gain more traction in the near future.
Good, thank you.
Additionally, we took up council member, I should say, Underwood Jacobs' discussion last meeting on single-serve containers and what regulations we may want to consider from the planning point of view. However, it's primarily a ministerial issue for other departments.
I thought we did that. I thought we're not having those anymore.
Pardon?
I thought we're not having single.
We believe that council members' comments were related to existing facilities and the control of the single containers in those facilities and how they're merchandised and in our community.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it for all of them.
Yeah. Can we do that?
I think we can.
She's going to.
That's what,
Good idea.
That's what we're looking into, and that'll be taken through planning and brought before you
Good
as we
idea.
work our way through it.
Thank you. So while we're at it, should we raise the age of buying cigarettes to 21? Why not? Anybody?
not going to get in an argument with me.
I think that's before the governor. I think,
But can we do it as a city if the state doesn't do it?
I don't think so, but I can look into it. If the
Some
governor
ci-
doesn't sign it, I
Some cities
will.
are doing it.
Yeah.
I just don't know if a city in California can do it. All right. Good. I don't know how we can do that. Do we have the other thing?
Give it to the ABTA.
We have the other, we have this. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Why don't we take 5-10 minutes, and then we'll come back and do the public comment, okay? We all good? Good.
Thanks, Rex. Hey. Jason. He's under Jason Bourne. I'm going to scare him. I just always wanted to do that. No. We're going to have a moment of silence for what happened in Brussels today, so let's just take a moment of silence. Thank you. Mr. Bozigan.
Thank you, sir. We have three things we'd like to go over today. The first one is the council will likely recall that several months ago, Fran came up and talked about the need for computers in the senior center, and the council and mayor were pretty insistent and pretty direct with the county, working with the county supervisor's office. And I'm happy to say, through the council's prodding and Supervisor Antonovich and Fran bringing it up, this is a picture of the new computer lab at the senior center. It's well used. It's actually really, really nice. First class. So that's good work. We have two videos we'd like to show. The first one relates to the air show. I think what's important about the air show, it's truly a community event. LA County helps with it, the community volunteers. Our staff did exceptionally well there. The park staff under Rhonda Perez worked on a lot of the parking and traffic and those issues. Lee Dorico was the man on the spot when it came to public safety, from traffic to public safety. Everything his staff did amazing. And Jeff Hogan, Development Services, those were the guys on the street setting up, tearing it down. Jeff was out there both days with them, helping them tear up and tear down and set up. Really is a great community event, and it shows the Antelope Valley crowd. So we have a short video on that event.
Welcome to the third LA County Air Show here at Fox Field in Lancaster, where we got thousands of people streaming in to see the Blue Angels. What are you thinking now?
It's about making a community. It's about bringing all your people out here. But this is what our veterans bring to us. This is what the community's about. The people come in here and they see what a beautiful valley we have. They see the poppies are blooming. They see everything that's happening here. It's a great day for the Antelope Valley.
As a councilman, when you see this for a third year, how's it make you feel?
Oh, just exciting. Growing up here in the Antelope Valley, we were always about the air shows. So if you go back, it was always about aircraft, aerospace. You know, this is fantastic, over the top.
I could sell real estate on a day like this.
No kidding. This is great. No wind, calm, perfect.
Parking lots are full, people are smiling. It's a great air show.
How's it going so far?
Wonderful. There's a million kids out here. There's been some great tributes this year, and the Blue Angels are back. What more could we ask for?
There's so many people out here this afternoon, families, kids, and just everybody's having a really good time. And them being here like this and supporting the valley, it brings revenue back to the cities. And I mean, you're having fun and you're making money for the city, and it's a great time. You know, what could be more better than that?
Let me tell you, start from how much I love this event every year. This is the third time. Overall, all around, it's just an amazing thing to have in our town. People are enjoying it. There are hundreds and thousands of people are here, and not only enjoying, but they're also helping our local small businesses. They're staying at the hotels. I was talking to some of the people. They came here last night, just for today, and they're going to be staying for the weekend. It's just good for the businesses too.
You've got tens of thousands of people for a third year now. How does that make you feel?
I feel good. I mean, we got a staff that's just knocking these things out one after the other. It's a great city to live in. I'm really happy with it. So this is a great time.
if you have anything to say on their show. Or...
I just think staff does just a wonderful job. I mean, you know, when you compare this city with any other city, all the other cities are shutting down their events. They're trying to, you know, consolidate, but we're expanding everything. I think that's the job of a council, is to actually give the services to the community and, you know, show them what we're made of. And this is truly an example of that.
The last one we have, sir, is a short commercial you'll start seeing on some of the outlets promoting the Poppy Festival coming up in April.
Join us for 2 days of music, art, food, and fun celebrating the state flower at the 2016 California Poppy Festival. Kick off spring in the Antelope Valley with a glorious array of celebrated performers, unrivaled events, and mouth-watering delicacies designed to delight, enchant, and amuse people of all ages. The 2016 California Poppy Festival, April 16th and 17th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Lancaster City Park.
Very nice. Anything else?
Thank you.
I have to say it was also fun watching Raj get interviewed during that, because they were having a reenactment of Pearl Harbor at the time, and they were doing bombs right next to Raj, and he was trying to focus on
I
them.
purposely stood over there.
So he was
was
doing
fun.
really good. It was a good job. Okay. City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council, agency, and authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the city manager.
Okay, I have a card from a Jason Bourne, and it's... Is that... would you like to speak?
Yeah. Did Rex Parrish speak?
Yes.
Okay, well, this is a question in regards, this was a question addressed to the City Council and also RX Paris. My question was as to why RX Paris and Michael D. Antonovich are aiming to ban medicinal cannabis clubs in the Antelope Valley community. I believe these medicinal cannabis facilities give safe access to medical patients with woes and medical conditions, safe access, to medicinal cannabis. I feel if they ban these and they succeed in doing so, this is going to mean patients with medical conditions ranging from multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, lupus, cancer pain, the list goes on, depression, anxiety, are no longer going to have safe access to medical marijuana. Those that can't afford to go down below won't have any access to it. Those who, they will also be forced to resort back to pharmaceutical drugs. I don't think that's fair, so I kind of wanted to address him in the fact of why this is being done.
Can I give you his position? His position is quite opposite of what you addressed.
Okay.
He believes that and I'm speaking what his belief is, he believes that there is no question that cannabis helps cancer patients. I think his words were that ship has already sailed in as far as that. I think he would be more on your side than what you're actually suggesting that he is. But the state of California put a regulation out that if we don't do something and it's not done by March 1st, then we have no ability to go in and regulate it afterwards. So we did an emergency ordinance, not emergency ordinance, but an ordinance that allowed us to take control of it. That was mandated by the state of California. Isn't that correct?
In which way take control of it? By going in and doing search and seizures, harassing patients?
No. We're talking about local control and the ability to regulate locally. Otherwise, if the council had not taken the action they did by March the 1st, then we would have lost all ability to enact any local regulation of any kind and would have been subject only to the whims of the state. So that is why it was brought before the council, and that was very clear in the staff report and all the discussions that night.
Okay, so where do we stand with medicinal cannabis in the future? Where do we stand in the future with medicinal cannabis and medicinal cannabis clubs?
Okay, what we're doing, we're having our Criminal Justice Commission. They're looking at it. You can come, it is, the next one will be in May. It's the second Wednesday in May. You can come there and address them. They will give a report and make a recommendation for all that to the City Council. So, and we're also taking a look at it and seeing what will be on the November ballot, because whatever we do might be for nil, because it might be on a proposition, and we might not have a say-so. So that's where we're at. So thank you.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Jason Zink. Jason, before you start, I did find your other card. I apologize. It was mixed in with, we have 11 different cards. It was mixed in with that, so it's my fault, and I apologize for that. So if you need some extra time, I'll give it to you.
Okay. I just, for the mayor to suggest that I come here because it's a playground or something like that, I really care about this community. I was born and raised here, and when I look at Antelope Valley, when I look at Palmdale, Lancaster, I look at Antelope Valley, and we all live and work in Palmdale, Lancaster, or unincorporated areas. We're all one community. What I wanted to talk about the Highway 138 is I just think the city should use that money on the actual two-lane highway going out to Gorman and the one going out to San Bernardino, and not on these interchanges. People are dying on two-lane roads because there's no passing lanes. They're not dying because of these interchanges. So I would like the city to use that money.
Let me tell you how it works, so you'll get a better view of it. We have like 16 different pots. They're all different colors. We're mandated by the state that only this green pot can be used for this, and this blue pot can be used for this, and this purple pot can be used for this. So the Measure R funds that was mandated by Metro came out, and it could only be used from the 14 from Avenue D through that. When Highway 138 through Pear Blossom, we changed that, and the state of California came in and used STIP funds for that. It allowed the NCTC to get $200 million. So the $200 million went back to the four partners in NCTC, which are the County of Los Angeles, the City of Santa Clarita, the City of Palmdale, and the city. So we had to do, the only thing that we could actually do was to do those interchanges. So if you've ever looked at like Avenue M and Avenue K coming off of those, we could use the money to expand those and to do different things. But it's like you said, it's one of those deals where we use it or lose it. And it's because we're mandated by the state, it has to be used for that particular item.
So it can't be used on
No, if it could, I would agree with you, but we did get more funds from them, and that's where we got the $25 million from. So me and Ken were fighting for that. Me and Angela are fighting for another $90 million to actually put out there at 138. They're actually using the $25 million to look to see if they can expand it from 400 feet wide to 600 feet wide as far as the right-of-ways, so we don't have to go back and do it later and make it a four-lane road to do all that. Even though it's not in the city of Lancaster, or a part of it's not in the city of Lancaster, it would be beneficial to the entire Antelope Valley by doing it.
Because it does affect, I think the last person was from Lancaster, I think, that died.
Well, yeah, but it's just, as long as you understand, we have certain ways that we have to spend that money, and if we could take it, if we could take all the money that we receive in the city of Lancaster and spend it any way that we would do it differently. But certain money has to go for this, certain monies have to go for this, and that's the way we have to do it. So if you're going to get, we're going to get $15 million to do the interchanges, and our tax share is actually $50 million because it's split four ways. We actually got $65 million of it by doing it the way that we're doing it, and half of that was split with the city of Palmdale because we split the Avenue M interchange.
Okay. Just because it's very personal to me because I lost my brother on there.
Right.
And very many close family
I would
friends.
agree with you, and we're doing our best to expand that and to make it a better highway for everyone. I think it makes a better Antelope Valley if we actually do that. So we're working on it.
The other thing is my family who lives in Lancaster did not receive any sample ballots, and I think my mom spoke with you. And I'm just wondering, of all the people in Lancaster not to get sample ballots, why?
Well,
go ahead.
I can assure you it wasn't personal.
Okay. It's just weird.
What we do is...
Wait a minute, let me look in this stack.
Yes, that's two things that's happened to you today. No, we're looking at that. There is a procedure. If something didn't get, it could be the mail, could be something. So you will certainly get those. And
Because I just don't want it to be a white, maybe there might be a widespread problem, so. I don't
No,
know.
there is not, but we will get you that, and we'll find out what happened.
And the other thing is the DMV. I know Palmdale does this to me, Lancaster does it, passing the buck on the DMV, saying it's a state agency and, you know, we have no control over it. But we have Runner and we have Lackey. And, you know, you guys eat dinners with them. You guys go to the same functions together. You guys were out there at the LA County Air Show together. I mean, so to say, I really believe that this is falling on deaf ears. Sometimes I think there is a little bit of corruption in this project. And I think that for you guys not to send out postcards to the businesses surrounding the DMV, just in Lancaster, just to let them know what's going on, that shows that you would care.
So Jason, may I ask, because often we have people come up as yourself and speak. So let's step back and take a look at that. So the state makes a decision without our input, whether or not our input is valuable or not. And so they make again, I'm speculating. They make a decision to relocate that DMV and expand. And I have a sneaky suspicion over time, as we see in a lot of county services or state services, that we have in the Antelope Valley, we have a lot of communal use, meaning that there's one location, it serves the greater Antelope Valley. I suspect there was a decision made, again, speculation on my part, but for us to send notices out on Avenue I as a city, I would think that if anybody would have responsibility, unbeknownst to me, I would have thought the state would have done that. Now, could we do that? I suspect we could. I mean, I suspect we could send notices out. I'm feeling somewhat comfortable, as the vice mayor said, because ultimately we get to keep, I guess selfishly, we get to keep the DMV. It's on this side of it's not necessarily a tax generator for the city of Lancaster, but hopefully people will travel our way and maybe there'll be some residual about it. But as frustrated as you are, often at times we all are too. But again, we're not the vehicle, as much as people think we are sometimes. We're not the vehicle to stop the state or stop the county. And trust me, I suspect that we'll probably all have our time and effort to be able to let the senator know and the assemblyman know that, you know, it would be nice in the future, if they're aware of it, that they make us aware of it, so we don't get broadsided. And we don't get people like yourself thinking somehow that this is an anti-establishment, an anti-business. I know the owners that own that property where that DMV is. Personal friend. That's George Lane.
Mm-hmm. I know that.
And he's had that lease for forever. And I appreciate what George has done for the Antelope Valley, and I wouldn't wish him to lose any kind of business. So it'd be remiss of anybody here to think any there otherwise. Now, I don't know who the owner is over on the other side. I don't know.
You don't. I'm saying, we need to find out why this happened, why we didn't know what's going on. Right?
Good, and likewise,
And
this is not the vehicle, though. The vehicle needs to be addressed to the state.
I know, but I'm one person, one citizen. You guys have power. You guys are city.
I agree with what you're saying.
You can sit down with him and say, what's going on here?
Okay, I will ask him those questions. The only reason I knew it was moving is because of your emails.
Correct.
Okay, that's the reason I knew it was moving. The state, we are well underrepresented in the state of California. And it doesn't mean that our local representatives doesn't represent us well, but we do not get our fair share from the county, from the state, or from the federal government. A lot of these agencies that we get, we're constantly fighting with them. So when you look at it, they're going to double the size of our DMV, okay? That's not a fight that I'm going to engage in of where they're going to put it and why they're going to put it there. If we double the size of our current DMV in the city of Lancaster, I'm okay with that. We've had so many problems in that location with the DMV because of traffic, because of the location that it is. It was maybe good for the Antelope Valley 20 years ago, but not today. And it does need to be moved. It needs to be moved between the two cities. And I suspect that the state did as good a job as they could to do it. Could they have let their citizens know? Yeah. So
I'm just saying, I think that's going to create so much traffic jam right there and so many accidents on L6 because it's not on a main road. And right next to the courthouse in the center of the two cities would have been a more desirable spot, or right there where Palmville owns 100 acres on M and 10th
You'd
Street
think.
West.
You'd think.
Where the fairground should have gone.
Okay, or you think.
you
think.
you have to quit using logic with the state.
Okay, thank you for your
Thank
time,
you.
you guys.
Appreciate it. Andre Wiley? Sorry.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners and Council. I just came because I wanted to just share a little bit that I think I wrote on the card about public safety. I have a nonprofit organization that's been growing since 2012. I moved to the Bay Area, to San Francisco, about 3 years ago and started the organization there that works with at-risk youth as well as the formerly incarcerated folks that are coming out of prison. And I moved back here. I'm originally from L.A., not from Lancaster, but from Los Angeles. I moved back here because of my 8 grandkids. I have 8 grandkids here. So I just wanted to introduce our organization here. I've talked to parole department here, Antelope Valley parole department, who said that they often have to send a lot of their parolees down to L.A. to get programs and services and things like that. That's something that my organization's done in the Bay Area. It's doing it also in L.A., Los Angeles. We have sober living housing in Los Angeles. I have letters from actually the city manager in the city of Union City, as well as the Alameda County Probation Department. I've been working with all of the different agencies. So I just wanted to introduce our organization called the Timeless Group. We're a reentry program, as well as we work with at-risk youth. And I feel like it's a lack of services for folks in this community, especially here on the east side. And I've been getting a lot of that from the folks that I've been encountering. So I just wanted to, just share that I'm here, and I just want to learn more about how I can be involved with the city of Lancaster to provide these type of services that are much needed. Thank you.
Andre, glad to have you here. If you talk to Lee DeRico,
Yes.
you can speak with him and tell him what you do. If he deems it necessary, he can bring it to the Criminal Justice Commission, and then you can speak at the Criminal Justice Commission and explain what you do, and maybe they can help you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
you. Lashin? Mr. Rencher? Heather Brown?
Good evening, Council, Vice Mayor. I'm here again about the water. I'm really concerned because nothing is being done about the open trenches that I reported you to. Anyways, and the buzz out on the street is that there's too much corruption. Someone had brought up that, well, they can't do anything. They're just mayor, on the county level or the city level, I guess I should say. And it also came up that, well, mayor is a injury attorney. If he's defending Porter Ranch, he can't fix Lancaster water. And that is a big concern. If you don't want to approach Lockheed about, bringing the trenches up to code, I would be glad to go out there and diplomatically and most politely ask them to bring the trenches up to code to eliminate that source of chromium-6. Because currently the federal standard, enforceable standard, is 0.05. The water here in Lancaster is 50 point. Hinkley, when they got that $333 million lawsuit, was 0.58. Well, at 50 point here, you can't expose yourself to any of the steam. I no longer use this water. I buy to wash my dishes, anything. The only water that comes from the municipal is in my toilet, which I wish I didn't have that in there either, but I'm getting a system put in, $4,500 in my house. So and I'm not going to water my lawn anymore with the water that comes from LA County Water District 40. When the assistant from the mayor's office called me back, he told me that that was out of your hands, which it's not out of your hands. I know that being an injury attorney and handling Porter Ranch, he can handle this easily. But again, I offer my services. If you want me to go and approach Lockheed to just bring those trenches up to code, I would be more than glad to do that for you. I'd like to just read you one thing. This is from Abraham Lincoln. I hate it because it deprives our Republican example of a just influence in the world, enables the enemies of free institution with the plausibility to taunt us as hypocrites, causes the real friends of freedom to doubt our sincerity, and to especially because it forces so many good men among ourselves into an open war with the very fundamental principles of civil liberty, criticizing the Declaration of Independence and insisting that there is no right principle of action but self-interest. 1854, that's from the Emancipation Proclamation. It totally applies today. Thank you.
Mr. Carter.
I just have a couple questions for you. You're obviously very, very knowledgeable with what the subject that you're talking about. Have you approached Cal OSHA, or have you approached OSHA or the EPA on this?
I have not.
Because Plant 42, that area
is the DOD.
Is DOD.
So do you, I mean, if you want me to go to the Health Department and the EPA, I kind of consider them the extra pay agency. I know it's environmental protection, but I can't see that they're doing that. But, I mean, it's just simply going out there, and I mean, I would gladly go out there and make sure that whoever handled the toxic waste was properly covered and protected. You know, I get CDC notices all the time on my email, so I know proper protection of somebody that might be exposed to something that can harm them. I know the proper way to do it, and we could eliminate that pollution that is currently in those 8 trenches that aren't code, and then bring them up to code. It's that simple. It would be so much less expensive than having a bunch of sick people go against the city and, you know, like that. Don't you think? So I don't know.
I have just a question for you.
Uh-huh.
With the amount of regulation that takes place at a facility like that, with the business that they do and the contracts that they hold,
Correct.
how is it that you feel
No, that the trenches are only 2 inches of concrete?
No, that they have done this for as long as you say they
My
have.
father was a test pilot, chief test pilot at Northrop, and I know the man that put the trenches in for them. He is
I
currently
understand that.
dead,
But the environmental laws have changed significantly since then, and they've become significantly more tight, and the penalties are significantly stiffer.
Exactly.
I am just wondering how it is that with the annual, monthly, and almost daily self-inspections, that this has
Been
not
allowed
come
to-
to light publicly.
Right. Well, because it's the DOD, and they don't allow people to know this. I mean, if I hadn't known the man that put the trenches in for them, I wouldn't have known they were only 2 inches of concrete. I mean, that's great if you're storing a car without gas or oil in it, right? Non-op. But that's not code for handling toxic hazardous chemicals. And they pour it in there, as Mayor Christ, you know, August 25th admitted, seeing them pour it in there right in front of him. So, I mean, I'm trying to avert a disaster. And, you know, I know that my time is up, but if you know anything about places that are very nice, Malibu, Palm Springs, places like that, they have an equestrian center in all these places. Did you know that all the large racehorse breeders have pretty much moved out of here because of health problems for horses? Digestive tract, upper respiratory. You can't have a racehorse that can't breathe. Asthma is a big thing that this stuff causes, every kind of cancer. It's just nasty chemical.
Okay, Heather, we need to move on.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Appreciate
But
it.
thank you. I mean, if you want to contact me, I can leave my number. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Simon. Eleonora Simon? She left. Marlene? Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, thank you to all of you, nice people. I'm Marlene Moreno. I use Member City. I'm here just to thank you guys for regarding the crossing that you guys have done for our children in the community and Avenue I and 17 by Discovery School. We were requesting that for like a little bit of period. I won't say long, but I was bothering a lot of people in the office everywhere for to get that done, and finally we got it. So I just want to thank you to all of you, and I would love to have the list of the people, if it's possible, to give them a little something, to let them know that we are very thankful. The community. A few minutes ago, I was a little bit of parents over here with me. They want to come to and say thank you. So I make a little certificate for them, but I know they're not here. I just show up, and I really love to give them something. If it's okay with you guys, and next meeting we can have a list of the names. And
It is. If you'll contact the city manager, we'll do it prior to the meeting, so you don't have to wait here.
Okay, I'm okay. I mean, just to show you guys that we are up there on the other side of the city, thinking and looking and thankful that you guys are looking after us and have our community with better resources for our children over there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for caring about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Reeves. Michael, say something nice.
Hi, Vice Mayor, Council.
Say you've had a long day. We do good things.
It's been a long day.
Okay.
I'd like to leave it in a somewhat positive note. I requested the code enforcement and the parking enforcement people to do something on my street a while back, and they took care of it. And then I requested parking and code enforcement to do something else on my street, and nothing's been done. So, I was thinking about this, how to monitor this. So I suggest that the city do this. Anytime anybody makes a phone call or requests a service of the city, they're giving a number, like 1234. And they can look up on the website that number and see what action's been taken on their request. And I think it would really, and also at the end of the month or periodically, there could be a printout, or the council could monitor it and see, why did 1234, it's been hanging around for months, and find out and monitor, the requests and the phone calls of the citizens. And, in my case, for example, nothing was been done about a vehicle parked at J8 and 12th Street West, which is the danger to children and pedestrians and drivers, and also abandoned vehicles on a driveway on my street where I'm trying to preserve the neighborhood. Nothing's been done about that. But rather than call staff up and bother them, I'm just living with it. But if I had a number assigned to me and I could look on the internet, that would, okay, fine, you took care of it, you're working on it, you're going to do nothing. Because otherwise, I don't get anything back. So that's my suggestion to the city.
Thank you, Michael. Good suggestion. George. George, thanks for being here.
Council members, I'm sorry?
Thanks for being here.
I'm glad to be here. I want to commend all of you for what you're doing. You're not just coming to the meetings twice a month. Apparently you are busy behind the scenes also. And I want to commend our sheriff department, because approximately 6 to 8 weeks ago, my neighbor's house, there was the arrest that took place, and the deputies handled themselves excellent, A+. None of the throwing on the ground, jumping on them or nothing. They were already in the position on the floor, and they took the hands right behind. I give them an A+ on that. And my main concern was kind of answered by Allison here. There's a house at 2653 East Kettering that's currently abandoned. I don't know, in foreclosure procedures.
What's the address?
2653. There's a pool in the backyard, stagnant water, and I'm getting kind of concerned with the mosquito infestations and stuff. And she kind of told me that there's apparently a helicopter that flies every once in a while and takes these addresses down and then they fumigate. Now, is this like every 2 or 3 times a year, or?
It is multiple times a year. It's when we have different problems. It's to make sure that we don't have the stagnant pools. Councilwoman Sandra Johnson put it in place in an ordinance in which we're looking for those pools. We told the public that we wouldn't use LEAPs for that thing, so we have contracted with, and we work through the mosquito abatement to look for those stagnant pools and other stagnant water.
Is there a way somebody from the city could get in touch with the property tax department to where they could more or less identify the properties that do have pools?
We're doing all that. We're doing all that,
Okay.
and we're contacting the property owners. Some people that have pool covers, because it's at such an altitude, it doesn't look like it's clear water, so it's a pool cover, so they actually go in and check the pool. I know several people that have pools with pool covers that have been checked, so it's a good thing. We're working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening.
Joseph Aiken.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph, and I'm a resident here in the city of Lancaster. And the last time, which was actually a few months ago, Mr. Rex Paris, he mentioned in passing about opening up a discussion regarding the closure of the Lancaster Metrolink station. And the reason why I wanted to address you tonight was because I wanted to offer you possibly like some sort of a compromise or solution to the city Metrolink problem, which would be to the last few trains in the evening, maybe to cut them out, because I ride the train from time to time, and for the most part what I see is the majority of the people that get on these late night trains, they don't live here in the city of Lancaster. They're not commuting from work or school, and oftentimes when they're traveling northbound, they have negative intentions and getting into negative behaviors, and I wanted to offer that to you, and maybe you could direct me to someone else, and I could go into more details about that.
Will you listen to him? Will you talk with Mr. Dorico?
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.
All right.
David Paul.
Vice Mayor and Council, good evening. You know I like to be positive, and you know I love my city. I want to say thank you to Elizabeth Brubaker for sitting there, showing the concern of the public's comments. Thank you. Chairman Vos, we talked about at a debate last night I had for the mayoral contestants about point-of-use battery storage and how it's coming in the future. I appreciate you working on that. I am a little disappointed that our mayor has left tonight, because I had some things to say to him. He has not showed up at the debates, and not listening to this public testimony just shows a disregard that I think is arrogant, and I wish it was different. You know, it doesn't say much about my ability to sit in that chair, but you could put a monkey in that chair, and with this great city staff and this council do great things, and I appreciate that. It's the mayor's attitude that bothers me. He didn't show up at the debates, and he's not here now, and to bully the public the way he does, there's no reason to do that. He has all the power and all the influence, and yet he just wants more. It's maniacal, and I wish that he would sit here and listen to the public and be a participant in this city instead of someone who can't wait to get out of town. It's cowardly. I appreciate you and this city, and we'll see what happens in this election. If the people want a person that will listen to their concerns, they'll vote for me. I'm hoping for that. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Fran, we saved you for last.
Okay.
Do as well.
Good evening, Vice Mayor Chris, Council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fran. Francis, but everybody knows me as Fran. First of all, I want to thank you all for on behalf of the Senior Center about our computers. That's step one. Now I need to ask, when are we going to get our new building or the enlargement? Mr. Bosigian? Excuse me. I was asking about the enlargement or the rebuilding of the senior center. When, what, where, why, because?
Yes, please.
Thank you for asking that. That was something that Fran brought up a long time ago, and through the work of the mayor and council. In fact, Ken let the cat out of the bag today, so I guess it's okay. We're working with the county. We hope to have an agreement with them within the next month, by the end of April, and so that the senior center could be significantly expanded before the end of the year completed.
Yes.
So thank you for that, and
Thank
you
you.
for the leadership of the council.
Thank you very much, thank you.
We're working on it. It's not our facility, but we're working on it.
I know.
Sorry, I let the cat out of the bag.
No, well, you didn't, no, it wasn't you, the mayor did first.
Okay.
Oh, oops, I let the cat out of the bag this time. Also, I wanted to, I said that, the Blue Angels, they were practicing, I think it was Thursday or Friday. I heard this thundering sound, and it scared the heck out of me. I thought we were going to get bombed or something. So anyway, I went outside, I was working in my backyard, and I see these Blue Angel planes coming. They came so close to my house, it seemed like it looked like if I could just get up there and touch them. But it was a wonderful sight, but at the same time, it scared the heck out of me. But I just thought I'd share that with you. And the next thing, I just wanted to make sure that I wish you all a blessed, blessed Easter, and a happy one to you and to your families. And I thank you very much for allowing me to speak and being here. I enjoy it very much. God bless you all.
Thank you, Fran. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Wally? Sorry, Fran, you're not the last one. I found another card.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council, staff, people of Lancaster. I'm here to present another great idea of mine, and that is robotic bus drivers.
We have a few.
Sir?
We have a few.
I keep reading about self-driving cars, how they're going to be the next great thing in a few years. Well, and so so that's what gave me this idea about self-driving buses.
Wally, we're actually working on that with AVTA.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that, and we need to do that right away, because what I notice is that a lot of people they got things to do, and they waste a lot of time waiting for the bus, going on the bus, and so it harms a lot of the population. And we, as the government, we should help the population that's at the bottom. That's mostly who rides the bus, is the people at the bottom.
We're actually looking at that, Wally, to do that from the city of Palmdale and to the city of Lancaster, just back and forth.
I appreciate that, Vice Mayor. But I want to point out three pros of this robotic bus drivers. Number one is that self-driving buses, robotic bus drivers don't get an attitude. Number two,
Good idea.
robotic bus drivers don't get up on the wrong side of the bed. And another thing is that robotic bus drivers don't have to stop and take a break. Or so what you have is a continuous, the buses will run continuously, back and forth, continuously. That will help the downtrodden people a lot from wasting all their valuable time when they're trying to get off the ground.
Thank you, Wally.
Good idea, Wally.
What a great idea. Okay. Anyone else want to speak? Okay. Raj? Jim, you have anything else? Angela? Sheldon? Ken?
I'm solid.
Okay. Think we're losing it. The City Council will adjourn in the memory of City Staff Member Richard Torres. Rick always had a smile on his face. He's been a code enforcement officer with the city for 10 years. He worked with the Los Angeles City Animal Control for approximately 6 years prior to that. Rick has known his wife Maria since junior high school. They have 2 children, 10 and 12. Rick will be sorely missed by his family, friends, and coworkers. So we're going to adjourn in his memory. Thank you.
Signatures
It's
for Jim's son. He needs to get his.